Well, did you know that 45% of all pregnancies are unintended? 27% of those are mistimed, and 18% of those are unwanted. You're watching The Girls, and we are here at the Pregnancy Resource Center in West Hazleton, Pennsylvania, and we are going to be sharing statistics and information with you today.
Yes, Janine, I'm excited because I just recently found out about this center, and our guest today is Director of the center, Valerie White. Thank you so much for joining us and having us here at the center.
Yes, thank you for being here.
I recently found out about this, as I mentioned, at our church, at St. John Bosco Church. They were holding a baby shower, and they had a beautiful bassinet there with balloons and everything, and we were encouraged as parishioners to bring new items for the baby shower, which then was donated to the Pregnancy Resource Center here, which you operate. So that intrigued me as to, wait a minute, I didn't know about this center. What the heck is it all about? So I was able to get in touch with some of the people who were there, who were speaking on your behalf and telling us about the baby shower, and voila, here we are. So I thought, if I didn't know about it, then how many people out there did not know about this?
Absolutely.
And we're right here in West Hazleton, Pennsylvania, as we mentioned, and you have all these great services. So first of all, why don't you tell us about what your actual center offers, what it's all about?
Yes, well, we are glad that you're here today. And so girl and a guy too can come in if she thinks that she's pregnant, and she can take a pregnancy test here at the center. Now, we're not medical, so that she would need to read the test herself. But if it's negative, for instance, we would talk to her about healthy relationships and about abstinence until marriage, because abstinence is the only way to prevent, 100% way to prevent pregnancy or an STD. And so if she is expecting, that we would encourage her to be part of our Earn While You Learn parenting classes. Now, these classes are a lot of fun. They are DVD based, and the girl and her support person would work with one of the client advocates, watch the DVD, and then talk about how she can put into practice in her everyday life what she has learned, such as they start with conception and go all through the pregnancy, and then they go right up until the child's 5 years old. And so a young lady could come in who has, say, a 3.5-year-old and start with the parenting classes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a young woman out there, is it mostly unwed women?
It is mostly unwed, yes.
Okay, so a young girl, no matter what her age is, finds herself that she may be pregnant. She could come here and can, well, sort of get an idea that she is pregnant. And then do you also recommend or take them step by step as to what to do to seek a doctor and professional guidance and whatever throughout that as well?
Yes, we do. We have a list of referrals that our volunteers have made up that for a lot of services throughout the community, such as doctors and like WIC and other agencies that might be able to help them with the needs that they have. And so we would refer them to those.
All right, so you walk them through every stage.
We do, and we encourage them to come back on a weekly basis and take the parenting classes. You know, we don't just say, hey, you should have the baby, and then good luck, we'll see you later. Because it really, people need others to walk beside them, especially in difficult times of crisis.
Right. So if someone's watching this, they see we're at the Pregnancy Resource Center, a candidate can be anyone. You could be, you think you're pregnant, or you can actually already have a child. The center is open, and it's actually a free service to the public.
Yes, yes. We don't charge anything for our services. Mm-hmm. Girls can come in and take the pregnancy test and sign up for the classes. And then when they sign up for the classes, when they take a class, they earn what we call baby bucks. And we love baby bucks because then they can go shopping in our baby boutique. And our baby boutique is located right here in the center. And it's filled with beautiful clothing, little boys, little girls clothing, and diapers and wipes, some soaps and shampoos, and some smaller items like that. And the girls really love to shop in there.
Well, that's what we spoke about with the collection that they had at church for the baby shower. So a lot of those donated items are in there. And are they all new, or are they slightly used as well?
We have new and slightly used, and so it's really a tremendous blessing what the people from the community. Yes, this is one
Tell me about this, because this is adorable. I walked in that boutique and saw this. Wow.
Right, right. So we have a lot of ladies in the community that crochet and knit for us, and not only little outfit like this and the hats, but also beautiful baby blankets like this, and sometimes little booties or other little things for for the baby. So really a lot of beautiful things are in our baby boutique.
They're
and
cute.
Good, yes.
Who doesn't like onesies? You think back of when your children were this tiny and you think, oh my
Lord.
goodness,
Right.
where does
and
the time
so
go?
A lot of them, they're either brand new or gently used, and we have one of our volunteers who organizes the baby boutique, and she does a wonderful job with it.
Now, you mentioned the word volunteer several times. So you are the director, but you rely on volunteers.
We do. There's about 10 volunteers, ladies that come in during the week, and they really keep the center open. We also have one man who volunteers to work with the men because, you know, guys need someone to talk to also. And that's another part of the center is a lot of time girls or guys just need to come in and just talk to somebody. They just need really a listening ear, someone who's compassionate. And so we're there for
An
that too.
unbiased person, some guidance, and really a role model. Maybe they have just so much going on in their head. So if someone is watching out there, maybe you think you're pregnant or you just found out you're pregnant, it wasn't planned, and you're scared and you don't know where to turn, you certainly can stop in the Pregnancy Resource Center. It's right here in West Hazleton. All of your information is confidential, and you'll have the guidance of Valerie and the volunteers. And I like the fact that you take them through the pregnancy all the way through to 5 years old
Yes.
and older. So there's courses here, there's classes here, there's a lot of support right here at the center.
Well, the confidentiality thing is great as well, but are there other times where you may have groups of girls that get together and maybe share as well?
Yes, we do. And you know, the girls like that because it's good to know that you're not in this alone. Because sometimes when we're in what we consider a crisis situation, we think I'm all alone. There's no one else that understands what I'm going through. And so we do have group classes. One of those is our cooking class, which is a lot of fun. It meets once a month. And the girls, and we've had guys attend it too, which is fun. So we make such things like chicken dishes or veggie lasagna. We make black bean burgers. We made hoagies, a variety of different things. Last Thanksgiving, they made rice and spinach stuffed butternut squash, and the entire center smelled fantastic.
You're making me hungry.
And so then we sit down. We not only make it and cook it, but then we sit down together and eat it. Like a family would, and we have discussion over dinner and really learn why it's important that I ask you how your day is and then I listen to you.
All right, well, we have so much more to learn about the Pregnancy Resource Center. Stay with us. When you come back, we're going to hear more.
42% of unintended pregnancies end in abortion. We're here at the Pregnancy Resource Center. We're educating you about pregnancies and also safe sex. We do like the fact that you are life affirming here. You are pro-life. And if for someone out there that doesn't know what that means, what does that mean?
That means that every life is valuable, and we know that because we've been created by God, and so we are intrinsically valuable, which means we're valuable because we are who we are. And so a lot of times we value life on what one can do or what one can contribute, but we know that life is valuable just because it is.
Age 15 to 19 has the highest unintended pregnancy rate. That's startling to me, and I have a 14-year-old. So you actually go into schools, and the thing is to educate the youth before they actually do get pregnant.
Yes, and we have a great curriculum. It's called Relationships Under Construction, which is actually what they are. And so we've been able to go into the classrooms from 6th to 12th grade and even young adults in different schools and organizations within the community and teach what a healthy relationship looks like.
Okay, so is this taught as part of a health class, or is it done where you're coming to the school as a special speaker and they can attend this if they choose to or not? So how is that done?
Basically, we go into a health class and we
Okay.
teach it to the kids.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And it's really things that they haven't heard before. For instance, I was talking to a group of young people yesterday at Penn State for their Community Partners Fair. And we were talking about how when you have a sexual experience with someone, that your brain releases chemicals called oxytocin and vasopressin, and that sexual experience is actually imprinted in your brain. And so we don't forget that. And so even if you escape, even if you don't get pregnant or get someone pregnant, even if you don't get an STD, that imprint of that sexual experience stays with you. And I don't know about you, but on my wedding night, I want my husband thinking about me, not another woman or or several other women or a lot of other women.
Well, and you mentioned a great point. Not only are you practicing safe sex to avoid being pregnant, but also sexually transmitted diseases. When I went into your kitchen when I got here to use the ladies' room, I was reading the poster on some of the statistics you had there, and it is startling how many people you can come in contact with and actually have a sexually transmitted disease. And you talk about that through the
We do,
course.
because everyone that someone has sex with, you're also having sex with everyone that they've had sex with. And we do a great demo in the schools with a cup of water. We have 7 kids come up, guy, girl, guy, girl, guy, girl, guy. And we talk about how this guy slept with this girl, then she slept with this guy, then he slept with this girl. And as we're talking about that, we're having them well, first of all, I should say that I gave them a little cup of water at the beginning, and I had them put it in their mouth, swish it around, and spit it back into the cup.
Oh.
And so then as the story goes, then the young man dumps his water into the girl's water, and then she dumps her water into the next guy's water. And on it goes until that girl meets the guy of her dreams after college. But the strange thing about it is that this guy has a cup of water, but he decided a long time ago that he was going to remain abstinent until his wedding day. And so his cup of water is clear. However, her cup of water is filled, as you can imagine, with all kinds of gross and grimy stuff in there from coming through all the kids down the line. And we say, when you have sex with somebody, that's exactly what you're doing. You're exchanging bodily fluids, saliva, hairs, germs. This is exactly what you're doing. And so the kids think that's pretty gross. But it's a great visual for them. And
that's where all of the sexually transmitted diseases come from in the first place. And now they have the vaccine for the human papillomavirus, because as finding out through all of the different courses of cancer research, they're finding that human papillomavirus, especially in women and in guys, can cause cancer.
Absolutely.
So you may not have anything now, but years later down the road, you may develop vaginal cancer,
Absolutely.
Throat cancer from human papillomavirus. So do they realize all those things that you're talking about, the yuck stuff that's in there, are also deadly diseases?
Well, in fact, that's a great point, because we go back after we've talked about what the germs and the saliva and that, and we go back, and on the bottom of the kids' cups are an STD.
Oh,
and so you say, well, look on the bottom of your cup. Oh, well, you brought chlamydia into the relationship. And then the next person, well, you brought HPV into the relationship. And we talk about those different STDs, how some are viral, some are bacterial. Viral or bacterial, you can treat with an antibiotic, but viral, basically once you have a virus, you will always have the virus.
It's harbored in your body.
Yes, and with HPV now, they say that 70% of our adult population has HPV. And so that's a pretty scary statistic. And I've had kids say to me, I've never heard that. I've never heard this before. Why aren't we being told this? And I've never heard it like you're presenting it. And so I think it's very eye-opening to the kids.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents tiptoe around the topic. They don't know where to begin. And I think my generation, at least, it was never talked about.
Right.
Never. You'd learned about it maybe in health class a little bit, and we looked through magazines and whatever, but I was fortunate to go to nursing school, so I learned everything I needed to know. A lot of people, even who are married and have children, they're just shocked at some of the things they're learning. They have no idea, because they just went on with nature's way of getting married. Your wedding night is your first encounter. You get pregnant. You may have used the rhythm method or whatever, but they really never knew anything, so they had nothing to tell the next generation. It was almost like trial and error.
Right.
All right, so when we come back, we have more information. We're going to talk about what's in that little black box over there, and we're going to give you more statistics and talk about healthy relationships. You're watching The Girls on SSP TV and SSPTV.com. We're at the Pregnancy Resource Center here in West Hazleton, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back. Well, every 34 seconds, another baby dies in an abortion. You're watching the girls here on SSP TV, and we are at the Pregnancy Resource Center in West Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
Yes, and we're finally going to get to see what's in this little black box, which is so important. Tell us about it, Val.
Life.
These are our little babies, and this one is 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and 10 weeks in their mama's womb.
Gosh, I guess most people who are pregnant never get to experience to see the size. I mean, this is my fingertip,
Right.
this little baby.
And that's just how you started out in your mother's womb.
And that's a life right there. This
That
is a life.
You know, at 7 weeks in their mother's womb, their facial features are beginning to be visible. Their eyelids and their lips and their tongue. Their heart is beating 140 to 150 beats a minute already.
So there's a little heartbeat in this little baby.
Absolutely. Your heartbeat starts at 21 days old.
Okay, so at 21 days old, when you get pregnant, you have a heartbeat. And doctors define death as when the heartbeat stops. So the heartbeat starts at 21 days.
21 days in mama's
21
womb.
days, you have a baby in you.
Right, right. And already at this stage, 7 weeks, their muscle formation is already completed. And so there's a lot going on in that baby.
What do we have on the next one? Next little baby here. How old is this baby?
That baby is 8 weeks. Now, this little unborn baby actually swims and moves gracefully inside the amniotic sac. Every organ is present, and the stomach produces digestive juices, and the liver makes blood cells. So as you can see, the little ones, they're really busy at this time, preparing to be born. The heart is beating, and the eyelids and the palms of the hands are sensitive to touch. Now, the baby's about 1.5 inches long at that point.
Why don't you go down the next stage here, this little baby.
There you go. That guy is 9 weeks old. He's now called a fetus, but did you know that a fetus actually means little one?
Aww.
We sometimes use fetus and treat it like it's not a real person, but that's just
And
a
he's
word.
sucking his thumb?
That's just a word for meaning little one. The hands are now bent at the wrist, and the fingerprints and the fingernails are just beginning to show. His nerves are beginning to function, and his bones are actually beginning to harden. Thumb sucking does occur at this stage, and the male or female organs will appear. Now, if the baby will move away if he's touched through the uterine wall, the baby's now about 2 inches long. This little guy is 10 weeks
Look at
old.
how cute he is.
He's sensitive to touch. He squints, swallows, frowns, and puckers up his brow. His voice box is forming. Now the baby will stretch out and show breathing-like movements. And tiny little baby teeth are actually forming in his gums, if you can believe that. The heart is almost completely formed, and it resembles a version of a newborn baby's heart. He's about 2.5 inches long, and his main job at this point is just to grow bigger so that he can survive after being born.
I always say it's amazing that we develop humans, like we grow humans. That is amazing.
Right.
That women walk around and they do their normal routine, and you're out there, and I'm sure people watching who are pregnant are like, hello, working a full-time job, taking care of their children, taking care of their responsibilities, growing a human at the same time. Girl power right here.
Yay.
Super girls.
I mean, that's just nuts.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It really
so
is.
great that you have the resource center, though, that they can come to learn how to not only take care of the baby that's growing inside with proper nutrition and care at the doctors and make sure everything is fine there, but also to take care of themselves as well.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them have families at home that they have to take care of as well. Well, family, the definition of family these days is way different. A lot of them are unwed mothers. A lot of them have other family members living with them. So you have all of those resources here for them to teach them all of that?
We do. We have great classes. They're called Earn While You Learn. This is one of our modules. These classes start at conception, and they go till the child's 5 years old. And so we encourage the girls, come back on a weekly basis. We love to build relationships with them and get to know them. Sometimes people just need a listening ear, and sometimes they'll just come in for that. And then other times we'll do the lessons. They're DVD based, And so the client works with the client advocate, watches the DVD, and then we talk about how do we put in practice what they've learned in their everyday life. And so there's a little bit of homework, and so they earn baby bucks for our baby boutique. And so they can earn 5 baby bucks taking a class, and then you earn extra baby bucks when you bring a support person in, when you do your homework, and when they bring in their bulletin from church. And so then we get to go shopping at the baby boutique, and that's always the highlight of their time here.
That's
Now
when they get to buy all those cute little
Yeah,
things
yes.
like this we were showing you before in your baby boutique. We have
our
all
bags.
kinds of things there, even breast pumps and baby carriers and all kinds of things that they need, right?
Absolutely. We want this to be a very practical help for people, and so to help them with their life, with their child, learn how to discipline the child, learn what's going on during their pregnancy. Those are always fun to watch.
It's something. I always say, parenting doesn't come with that manual. Like,
Right.
this is how you do this and this is how you do that. It's, you kind of go along. And we want to mention that the Pregnancy Resource Center is a part of CareNet. And CareNet saved 73,000 lives in 2014. That's their most recent research. 462,000 over 7 years. 462,000 lives were saved. Every 34 seconds, another baby dies, as we said, in an abortion. Education is certainly the key, and support, and that's what you're offering for free. So if you're at home, again, it's confidential. You're pregnant, you think you're pregnant, or you have children, and you're just like, I need help with this baby or this child. Right. It could be overwhelming, and if someone doesn't have that support, they could come here and get that.
Right. And another thing that we offer here at the center are classes on healthy relationships. Not only do we go out in the community and do these, but we have them in the center too. And so they're very beneficial. We really talk about what a healthy relationship looks like and compare it to what an unhealthy relationship looks like. In fact, one of our demos we do is like building a house, and how we compare building a relationship to building a house. And with a house, you need a foundation. Well, the foundation of relationship is friendship. And within friendship, what do you want in your friendship? Well, you want love and trust and respect. And so we talk about, what does trust mean to you? And what does respect mean to you? And then we have the walls of the house, which represent commitment and marriage. And within marriage, we want privacy and protection. We want security and support. And so what do those look like to you? And we talk about that. And then the final part of the house is our roof, and that's a healthy sexual relationship. And then we ask them, is this what every relationship looks like? Well, no, it's not, obviously. We talk about this with the kids in the schools too. And we say, sometimes relationship looks like you just took the house and you flipped it upside down. And it either started with sex, or it might have started with a friendship, but then went right to sex. And what's going to happen to that house? Do you want to live in a house that's built on its roof? Well, no, because the foundation is going to crack. And so we compare that to relationship, and we talk about those things. And what does it look like when people are living together? Well, it's like living kind of like living at the pavilion in Community Park. And we ask them, who's been to Community Park? Most everybody. Well, maybe you could live in the pavilion in the summer in Hazleton, but winter is coming. And it's the same thing with relationships. There are difficult times in relationships. And what they're missing is those walls of commitment and of marriage. And that's what we need. And so when people live together, that makes it harder when the kids come, and then kids are more likely to be involved in drug or alcohol abuse, or experience physical or mental abuse, experience academic troubles, or even more likely to end up in jail.
Right.
And so we want to see how they can change things for their family and for their children.
Well, it is a scary time when you're going to have a baby, and you're going to have that big responsibility for that other life. So if you're pregnant, you're contemplating pregnancy, if you already had your child, if you're just in need of some information, please go to the website. Please give them a call here at the Pregnancy Resource Center, because no matter what stage of your childbearing years you're in, there's something here, there's someone here you could turn to. You're not in it alone. Give them a call. They could help you with anything that you need, including having classes to cook, so you can nourish your family and yourself. So please reach out to them. You're watching the girls. We've had a great time here. I want to thank you so much, Valerie, for inviting us here. I've never been here before, as I said before. Janine, you and I learned a lot of great things
Yeah,
today.
and remember, they accept volunteers. There's a lot of people in those need service hours. You can give them a call or check them out on their website. Volunteer your time and make a difference.
And
So
download
thank
our
you.
app, because you could watch the show again and again, and
Thanks,
you'll be able
Valerie.
to reach out. Thank you so much, Valerie.
Thank you very much.